And now, speaking of blue, it's a color of Passover. It's one of Jewish religion's most sacred and widely observed holidays.
Joining us with more about Passover and to share a traditional Passover breakfast recipe is Jeff Rembrant from the Jewish Community Center in Springfield. Jeff,
good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys.
Now, I know you always wear your blue,
but today is special. The JCC's lit up in blue. Our lights are tinted blue. Our awning lights are tinted blue outside. We are all blue. The staff's all wearing blue today as well. So
that's wonderful.
Autism Awareness Day is an important day for us
as
well.
It sure is important, and you are really supportive of that
Absolutely.
as well. So today we're talking about Passover, and we're making a traditional Passover breakfast.
We are. A Passover breakfast that's called Matzo Brei, which translates to fried matzah. So it's a very easy dish. It's eaten all over the world. There's variations of it, but Passover itself is this big celebration of freedom and the Exodus from Egypt. So the story of Exodus in the Old Testament, where Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt and they wandered for 40 years in the desert and ended up in Israel, is what we celebrate, that point of freedom.
So it's a celebratory holiday.
It's a celebratory holiday. It's all about freedom and joy and happiness. So most folks celebrate it at home with their families, and we do what's called a Seder. A Seder is a traditional service and dinner, and Seder means order, so we follow the same order every year as we go through and we tell the story of the Exodus. Interestingly enough, in the Seder, Moses is not mentioned anywhere because we don't believe that one person should stand above other people. So we talk about the Israelites and God and the relationship with the Israelites, but we don't mention Moses, who, as we all know, if we've seen the Ten Commandments on TV, Charlton Heston was the we don't mention him at all in the Passover story.
Because he's just a normal guy.
Because he's a guy who happened to do some great things, but just a normal guy.
Now, it's not just celebrate. I mean, it begins tomorrow at sundown.
It begins tomorrow at sundown.
But
and
it's more than just one
It's
day.
a week-long holiday. And in fact, some folks celebrate it for 7 days, and some folks celebrate it for 8 days. Traditionally, the high priests in Jerusalem would signify the beginning of the holidays. But if you didn't live in Jerusalem, which was a walled city, you might not get the news until a day later, because they had to send runners out and blow horns and all kinds of things to let everybody know.
It wasn't like today with technology, right?
Right. So they couldn't just tweet it or anything. No. So there's this 8th day that a lot of folks celebrate, the just-in-case day, because in case they didn't get the word to start Passover on the right day, they still wanted to celebrate for a full 7 days. So today some folks celebrate 7, some folks celebrate 8.
I think I'm going to do that with my weekends. Maybe I'll take an extra day just in case I didn't know it was supposed to start on a Friday.
That's a good idea.
I think I might do that. I hope my bosses aren't watching.
Yep.
Let's get started.
So Matzo Brei is a really simple dish. So the first thing we do is we take some just plain matzah, whatever flavor you like. They make it whole wheat, egg matzah. They make gluten-free matzah now, all kinds of stuff, and you soak it in water.
Okay, so you make kind of like...
You kind of soften it up a little bit. And then all you have to do is pour in, this is just a couple of scrambled eggs and some salt. And then we want to mix it up.
All right, I'll mix it up for you, Jeff.
Okay. Meanwhile, while you're mixing it up, I'm melting some butter over here. So we're going to fry this one in butter.
All right.
And because in kosher you don't want to mix milk and meat, this can't be a meat dish.
Okay.
You can add things into your Matzo Brei. Occasionally, if I have leftover brisket after dinner, I will chop up the brisket and shred it a little bit, and I'll mix it in my Matzo Brei in the morning and have a little meat in mine, but then I would use margarine in my pan, not butter.
Got it.
Because
dairy,
meat, not a good combination.
Okay.
So we just want to get nice and mixed up, and we'll put a little bit of salt in it. So Seth, you want to bring the kosher salt over here?
Yes.
And
not the whole thing, Seth.
Just a little pinch of salt.
I'm confused. I also don't have nails, so this is complex for me. Do you want to grab that?
Yeah.
So just a little bit of salt.
Okay, there we go.
And you dump it in.
Tell me when.
I'd put another couple pinches in, because,
all right,
you know, salt is good for you. That's enough. You got to eat it, not me, so if it's too salty, it's going to be up to you.
Extra salt here.
Here, let me get you
trash thanks, can. There we go. Now we're back.
So this is mixed pretty well.
So this is mixed pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's just a really simple thing, and then once you have your hot pan, you just pour it in.
Now, you have a pre-Passover pasta family dinner coming up.
We do. A lot of folks have cleaned their house with all the chametz, which is what we call the non-Passover foods, bread products, pasta, things like that. And their kitchen is all ready for Passover. You have to scrub your kitchen. There's a whole procedure where you go through with a candle and a feather, and you look for all the breadcrumbs, and you have to get your car cleaned out, especially if your kids eat Cheerios in them on a regular basis.
Gosh.
Well, I think you need this holiday.
Right. So there are guys who get their cars detailed right before Pesach so that it's all cleaned out of all the chametz crumbs and things like that. And once the kitchen is done, then you can't cook normal food in it. You can only cook Passover food in it.
Interesting.
So we offer tonight the pre-Passover pasta dinner. And this year it actually is helping raise money for our Maccabi team. We send young athletes to the JCC Youth Maccabi games every year. And but you can come and you get a pasta dinner and salad and get that one last taste of pasta before Passover hits, when you can no longer have pasta.
Right, exactly.
So it's a nice touch. We've done it every year.
And you don't have to dirty your kitchen.
You don't have to
once
dirty
it's
your
clean.
kitchen. You can
Which is
just
nice.
get out, go someplace else, and have pasta for dinner one last time. You know, and then a lot of people will be a lot of pizza sold tonight in Jewish homes who want to get that last taste of
Takeout
pizza.
places
in.
will be
Right.
busy.
So then, just to finish this up, that just, I mean,
It's going
obviously.
to sit here and fry.
Yep.
And
Flip it over?
Well, once it solidifies a little bit, we're still.
Well, you
Like
know
an
what we
egg.
can do? This is perfect. It's a busy day in the kitchen, but we can finish frying that up, and maybe we'll just show a picture of the completed dish a little bit later in the show.
Fantastic.
Always a pleasure having you here. More information, springfieldjcc.org. Is
Yep,
that
you
right?
got it. We'll
And
be
happy
there.
Passover.
Thank you, and
to
happy
Yes.
Passover and Easter and a great celebration weekend.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey,